Now, if people comment, can we see that in here?
I don't think you can see it in here. You're probably gonna be able to see it on your Facebook page. I'm actually about to pull mine up now. Probably should have did that before. If y'all watching, bear with us. I still got a little getting together to do. But I think anyone who has tuned in to the podcast. All right, we are live and we are. So you're probably gonna have to pull up your Facebook page to see comments. I'm not sure what your screen looks like, but
Oh, so that's crazy.
Yeah. Cool.
trying to see if I should watch it on Facebook so I can see what's going on.
So basically, is that what StreamYard does? It broadcasts it through to the different platforms.
Yeah. So StreamYard sends it to uh I think it's up to 3, but it'll send it to a couple of platforms. So we're live. We got a couple people tuned in. I'm going to go ahead and hit this record button to get this thing started. It's the best music ever. The best music ever. Hey, how y'all doing? I am Anthony Moses. You are tuned in to the Floor Masters podcast. I am your host, Anthony Moses, the owner of Simply Intricate Designs. I am not going to say #1 flooring contractor anymore, y'all. This is it. It's over. I'm not saying it anymore. There are tons of people better than me. Tons of people. I am a really good contractor, but I'm not going to be #1. So I'm the host, Anthony Moses, the owner of Simply Intricate Designs, and this is an epic episode. An epic episode, like an episode like none other. We are going to school you guys on some tile. We're going to school y'all on tile and the trade that it used to be and the trade that it is now. And I have some amazing guests that's on the show with me, and that is none other than Shannon Violet, aka that child tile chick, and Mr. Big Swole, Chris Ortega. Please,
What's
guys,
up, guys?
introduce yourselves. Tell them who you are, what you do, how you do it, where you do it, when you do it, why you do it, all that great stuff.
You go first.
Ladies first.
You go first.
Ooh.
No, because without you, there's no me.
Oh my God, he hit her with the love.
I'm Shannon at that tile chick. If you don't know who I am a tile contractor out of Houston, Texas. And I am one of a 2-person team. This is my other half. So this is Chris. This is his first podcast.
What's up? I'm the guy behind the scenes.
Chris being his first podcast.
It's a Harry Potter reference. I'm the guy behind the scenes. I do all the video, the editing, thin set mixing, make the cuts. Pretty much. I mean, we're a team, so it's we're like yin and yang, I would say.
That's an important role. Don't let anybody downplay. That's an important role. As someone that has limited help, having cuts made, having mud mixed, and doing media, that's a huge role. So let's give it up for Chris being behind the scenes.
Thank you.
So before we jump into our episode, our content, what we're going to be getting into, let's take this time to give a shout out to our sponsors. The first being the National Tile Contractor Association. I'm always giving a big ups for the NTCA because it is hands down a game-changing organization. I don't care who may feel different about that. I will say from my mouth over and over again, NTCA is the way to go. And I would like to take this time to also shout out our Go Board sponsor. Go Board is an innovative tile backer board, very light, very efficient, very cost effective. So we just like to take this time and send a huge shout out to the NTCA and also to Go Board. And I would like to take this time to tell all of my listeners, I am so sorry. I have been out of the loop for a long time, but there's a very good reason for that. A very good reason. If you do not know, I recently quit my job as a professional firefighter. I had this job for 11 years and I decided to be a full time entrepreneur. And I question that decision every day. No, I'm joking.
It's hard. Very
So,
hard.
so I've been in the process of transitioning to full time. So I've been trying to handle some stuff, and that's why you guys have not seen or heard from me in a minute. But we're here now, and we're coming with the heat. Came back stronger than we were before. So tonight's episode, we're gonna be talking about the tile trade. The trade itself. We're going to be talking about the tile trade. We're going to be talking about some history from the tile trade, the tile industry. We're going to be talking about some simple economics associated with the tile trade. And then we're going to be talking about some pricing and homeowners' consumer expectations. Y'all ready to do this?
Yeah, before
Yes.
we get started, I want to say congratulations on your new position.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
For those of you who don't know what that is, if you watch Harry Potter, Dumbledore claps like this, okay, or like this, and he loves doing it. And it's people who don't get it; they're not going to understand why you're doing that.
It's okay.
What if I'll do it? How we do it?
Yeah.
How we do it? Well, thank you. I forgot to mention that in my time of absence, I was appointed to be a member of the board of directors for the National Tile Contractors Association, and it is an amazing opportunity. I'm very honored to accept the position. I would love to continue to further to be assistance to the industry as much as possible, and that was the reason for me taking it. And I thank the National Tile Contractor for even considering me, because it could have gone to a number of people before it came to me. So I'm very thankful for that.
That could be a whole podcast alone for you, Anthony.
Break it down to me. Elaborate, please, so that people can hear.
There's been a lot of controversy surrounding not just you, but I guess new people within the industry, and maybe you could do an episode elaborating on what your goals and your not even I don't want to say not knowledge, but just forward thinking and different views are going to be helpful towards the industry. I mean,
Right.
because like you and us, where we haven't been in the industry very long, but we could still attribute different things that people who have been in the industry 30 years may not be able to.
Absolutely.
So
I
it
think
seems like there was a
that's
lot of
good idea.
misunderstanding.
I think that's a good idea. I don't like to make myself the focus too much. So maybe y'all could help me to, I guess, kind of set up how I could present it without it being like all about me, because we know that is recipe for disaster in our industry. So let's get into the nitty gritty. We're talking about tile today. Now we've had a recent refocus for the podcast, and that is bridging the gap between homeowners and contractors. All these episodes are going to be designed to bridge that gap, to make that relationship closer, to make it easier, to make it more functional. So I came up with the episode of breaking down the tile industry. And I feel like the first place to start would be with the history of it. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, how extensive, or do you have any knowledge of the history of the tile industry?
Very minimal.
Very minimal. I was the same way until I was preparing for this episode. I don't think that that's uncommon. I don't think the average person knows the history of tile, but we're going to learn today. So I took it upon myself to do some research. And I'm going to let y'all know, I never do research before episodes, ever. But it's getting real passionate and I'm starting to do research. So it must be serious.
Yeah, I
So
like
this is
it.
going to be the first little nugget that I'm going to drop on y'all today. Do not ask me for sources. I have been out of college for long enough. I'm not doing no. We're not citing stuff. That's over with. That's that is over with. So the first nugget is the earliest example of tile making originated around the 4th century BC.
Wow.
So I'm gonna say that for the people in the back. The earliest example of tile making originated somewhere around the 4th century BC. For those that may not be aware of what BC is, this is before Christ. That's a long time ago. A long time ago. So tile has been around for a very long time. So if we think about just the 4th century BC, this has been available to people for almost forever. Like almost forever. You think
Mhm.
about the material it is, stone and things of that nature, cementous materials. That's what was being produced a long time ago because that's all that was available. Because that's all that was available, that means that the value of it had to be kind of high because they didn't really have other options. Once I got the information of when tile was kind of originated, I was curious to know when other products were introduced to us. So I went on to do more research. And this is particular to the United States. The carpet industry in the United States began in 1791. So after this period of a whole bunch of stone being made and everybody using stone, the U.S. started to incorporate carpet in 1791. This was an option to people as a floor covering because it was cost effective in comparison to the stone and tile that was always being installed. In 1870, the United States generated its own tile making and installation industry. It was 1870, right? The United States, when people started getting tile. It's not where tile installation was originated, but that's when the United States started creating the industry for tile. So first it was carpet, then we went to tile, and then in 1897, the wood flooring industry was created. So we go from carpet to tile to wood, and then we know everything else comes after that. So I used these nuggets of history to bring us to a realization that tile has been around for a long time. And it's kind of like the beginning of options for flooring coverings. That was uh that was a nice nugget to me because it made me think that these other materials were created after tile was made to offer an affordable option. Would you agree?
Yes.
So we know we started with carpet. People got tired of carpet, they went to tile for an option. People got tired of tile, they went to wood for an option. And all these industries were created. So instead of being forced to purchase tile, there was a lot of options created for the consumers to purchase. Because this happened, we realized that the pricing for tile has to change. Because once you start introducing other options, pricing starts to change. Now, Shannon, I know you know numbers. For the people that may not know, you have an accounting background, like a professional accounting background. So that means you understand numbers. So for pricing to change in the history of tiling, coming from where we started, having new options, one would probably assume that, hey, once you start getting more options, things will be cheaper. When you get more options, hey, the price of tile is supposed to come down. Do you think that would be a common assumption?
Maybe at first.
Mm-hmm.
At first people are like, oh, the new thing is wood, right? Since tile came after carpet, right?
Mhm.
So as soon as it's introduced to the market,
Before carpet.
tile was after carpet in the US.
Oh, so how much
So in the US, if everybody has carpet now, tile's a new thing, it's a hot, trending item, it's going to be crazy. Then when something else comes, of course, like the price is going to naturally go down because everybody's attention and focus is on the new product.
Mhm.
And that's just how everything goes in the world. But then once the market responds to whatever the new product is that's been introduced, and they realize, well, hey, wood floors doesn't really work in my bathroom, then you start realizing where the quality is for a specific product and where you need it versus the new trending item isn't perfect for all situations.
Now, I heard you use the term
I
trending
think it's like,
or the new hot item.
Mhm.
And you said that once the item is hot, the item is trending, of course the price will go up because people want it.
Mhm.
And when it's not trending, we expect the price to go down. There's a term for
Right.
this, which takes us to the next section. We've covered a little bit of history. I wasn't going to bombard y'all with a whole bunch of history. That was enough to get us started. So now we get into the next session, which is supply and demand. This is the simple economics that we were talking about. The simple economics. I don't know why I cannot get that out my lips tonight. Simple economics. You just said the hype, the thrill, the trending item is hot on the list, meaning everybody wants it. We don't know how available it is, but everybody wants it. So we expect the price to go up. This is for the listeners. I know y'all understand, but for the listeners, this is supply and demand. That subject in college and in high school that you thought was stupid and boring and that you hated, that's what we talking about today. Supply and demand. Supply and demand says that when there is either a product or a service that is at high demand, meaning a lot of people want it, but the supply is lower than the demand, the price goes up. Y'all got that?
Got it.
I know y'all understand.
Oh.
Do me a favor, and give your interpretation of it. Just
Me?
supply and
Us?
demand. Yeah, just explain what supply and demand means to you.
I would have just reiterated exactly what you just said, Anthony. That's the most basic definition of supply and demand. Supply goes up, demand goes down, price goes down. Supply goes down, demand goes up, price goes up.
All right.
Pretty simple.
It's simple. It's simple. But do me a favor and say that slower one more time. Because as simple as it is, I guarantee somebody is watching or listening to this and was just like, I don't know what he just said. I don't understand.
So everybody has access to a shower somewhere, whether it's in their house, their aunt's house, grandma's house, the gym they go to, wherever, right? So all of those showers, well, maybe not all of them. So this might be a bad example. I was going to say all those showers have tile. So if every single shower that exists today needed to be retiled, for example, for example, the demand goes up.
Mhm.
So then there's going to be a need for more tile to be in the market so that those new showers can be tiled. So if all of these people all of a sudden need these tile showers and suddenly there's all this need for this product, right? Now the price is going to go up because more stuff has to be made, put out into the market, so the price goes up, right? If there's nobody that wants tile, then what happens? There's no need for the manufacturers to manufacture it. There's nobody we don't need to ship it anywhere. We don't need to send it anywhere. And then now suddenly it's cheaper to get your hands on because there's less need for it.
All right. That should be simple enough for people to understand.
Even though I almost choked to death.
But again, there's going to be somebody that is going to say, man, I heard what you said, but I don't understand. So what we're going to do right now, this is the first time I've ever done this. I'm going to play us a video. For those that are watching the live, you'll be able to see it. For those that are not a part of the live and are listening after the fact, you can go to YouTube and watch the video so you can see what I'm about to play. But this is a short little video about supply and demand, and it adds some visuals so people can see. And after watching this video, I'm going to then connect that and associate that with tile and tile contractors and show people why they have been making horrible decisions when it comes to choosing a tile company. Bear with me as I pull this video up. That's it. Can y'all see that?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to do full screen so people can see the full video, if I can figure out how to do that. All right, we're going to start this video from the beginning. And y'all just watch.
How much are you willing to pay to get your hands on that new video game system? What would you do if the prices at your favorite pizza shop increased? Every day, people ask questions like these relating to the concepts of supply and demand. Demand is the desire consumers have for a good or service. The more people who want a good or service, the higher the demand for it. Supply is the total amount of a good or service available for consumption. The higher the amount of a good or service produced and made available to consumers, the larger the supply of it will be. Supply and demand have a big impact on the prices of products and services. Consider what happens with bananas. Now, there are few bananas on the shelves, but many people are waiting to purchase them. The demand for bananas is higher than the supply of bananas, because there are more people wanting them than there are bananas available at the market. Knowing this, the banana producer may increase the price of the bananas, because they know that with the higher demand, many consumers are willing to pay more to get what they want. Some consumers will decide to leave without purchasing bananas because they aren't willing to pay the higher price. What would happen if we added another producer to the situation so that there are two banana sellers? The demand for bananas would be lower than the supply, because there would be more bananas available than consumers want. The banana producers may decrease the price of the bananas to entice more consumers to buy their product, thus increasing the demand for bananas. Understanding supply and demand is key to understanding our own purchasing behavior, as well as the way business works.
It was absolutely amazing. All right, now we're gonna remove the screen and get back to it. Seemed pretty elementary, right?
I wish I had you as my high school teacher.
You didn't want me as a school teacher, I guarantee you. But it seems pretty elementary, right? There's people standing in line for bananas. They standing there for what was it, 75-cent banana? But what we saw in the video from the visuals, it was a line of people standing in line for bananas. There was a certain supply of bananas. When the supply was low, people were willing to pay more for the bananas because they knew that those bananas weren't available. When the supply was high and there was competition on the price of bananas, people had an option to either buy the bananas or not. But it was so high because there wasn't a demand. People weren't showing up for the bananas. Now, how do we connect that to tile contractors? If those same people standing in that line were standing in line for a tile contractor and the supply of quality tile contractors is low, the demand for the quality contractors makes the price go up. Now, what we saw was that, hey, if you put a whole bunch of bananas available to the people, the price will go down. How do we connect that to tile? We know in the tile world, one of the trades where it's not required for you to be licensed to enter the trade, there is almost no barrier to entry. Anybody can be a tile contractor. Anybody. There's nothing stopping you from being a tile contractor, which makes the total supply of tile contractors go through the roof. Y'all with me so far? There's a low barrier, meaning a whole bunch of people pour into it. The total supply of tile contractors goes through the roof. But the demand is for quality tile contractors. And as we stated before, the supply for quality contractors is low. What do we learn from these simple economics? When the demand is high and the supply is low, the price goes up. So we are left to this situation where people should understand that you're coming to the market, like we saw in the video, you're coming to the market for a quality contractor. But there is tile contractors available to you all day, but you're looking for a quality contractor. So when you find that quality contractor, you have to realize that the supply for what you're looking for is small. Meaning, when you demanded more, everybody's demanding tile right now. When you demanded more and the supply is small, the price goes up. Did we not all just learn that? We watched the video, we all learned it together. We came to class, we learned it together. So nobody can say, no, that's not right. Because we just learned it, right? We all just learned it.
Correct.
But I'm not sure if people realize that the supply that they have been looking for is low because they see a sea of tile contractors. And the reason they see that is because there's no barrier to entry. So you should expect people to pour into the industry when you don't have any resistance. But what the consumers, the people that you and I hire, they're looking for a quality contractor. Everyone is looking for the quality tile contractor because nobody would, in their right mind, desire a bad tile contractor. True?
Very true.
Very true.
I don't know if to say yes or no, but yeah, true.
It's true. It's such a no-brainer that it's like a trick question. It's like, should I say no?
Yeah.
It's such an easy answer. But we can all agree that nobody wants to hire. Nobody seeks out to hire a bad tile contractor. So that means it's safe to say that everybody is looking for a quality contractor, a quality tile contractor. That demand is high. We can see that demand is high, like Shannon said before, just from industry data. They are producing tile like never before. It's always a new tile, it's a new installation, meaning that there is a demand. These companies, these industries would not be producing for a market that is not being profitable. Simple as that.
Mhm.
All these large format tiles we're seeing, all these thin gauge, all these new versions of tile that we're seeing them because people are demanding tile installation. But I need y'all to remember that the demand is for quality tile contractors, and the supply for that is small. I hate to say it. Don't be mad at me for saying it. It's small. Even the best of contractors. I'm pointing at y'all because it's not me. I'm pointing at y'all. Even
Not
the
us, it's the
best,
people watching.
all the people watching. We could go through the list. We mentioned Sal before. We'll talk about Sal. Even the best of tile contractors, they have a demand for them.
Mhm.
There is a demand, but they can always improve. But the demand shows that the price has to be higher by simple economics. Nothing more. Everybody wants quality tile contractors. That goes into the demand category. The supply, which would be a quality tile contractor, is low. Now we have to accept the fact that, like, overnight, the price goes up. Now we're on to the third section, and this is where I want to hear from you guys. After going through this, after me breaking it down the way I broke it down, what is your opinion on the current pricing in the tile trade? Be as
Um,
raw as you want to be.
so my opinion on it is that it's just absolute crap. Like it's crap what customers expect. Um,
They just don't know any better.
yeah, like they don't know any better, and in my opinion, that's our fault. That's our industry's fault.
Mm-hmm.
That clients, like, I'm not expecting them to know how to install tile. That's not what I'm saying. I'm putting blame on us because we've failed as an industry to show that our job and our craft is important. It's important enough to be, compensated properly. It's important enough that people don't even do research before hiring somebody. And in my opinion, as an entire industry, we've failed to connect with the consumer to let them know how much, we are worth. So in that, it becomes a multiple part problem. But is just the consumer to blame? No. Is just the contractor to blame? No. Is just the industry to blame? No. There's a multiple moving parts. And so I really, truly believe that, I don't know how to put it into
Oh,
words.
say it. Just say it.
I don't know how to put it into
Just
words.
say it.
Like it makes me so angry when, for example, if we go back, me and Chris, we go back to when we started, back in 2017. If we pulled up any one of our estimates that we sent out, we look now and we're like, how did we survive? How did we pay our bills? Right. And the only reason we paid our bills was because I was still working full time.
Yeah.
Right. There was months where we barely made anything from the business, maybe a couple $100. Right. And yeah, of course, that comes with education and learning. Right. However, when you're working as much as we've worked, because when you're not making any money, you're constantly working to try to make money. So if you're not charging appropriately, you don't have that extra time to educate yourself, because what time are we eating dinner? 10, 11 o'clock at night. You don't have time to educate yourself. You don't have the money to go to any trainings, to take off from work. You can't fly out to anything, to go do any networking. You can't possibly grow your business. That's why it took us from 2017 to 2020 for me to quit my job, because we were spinning our wheels in mud for a long time, just trying to get by. And that's because we weren't charging enough money and we were miserable. We asked ourselves every day, why are we doing this? And he laughed, but it's really true. Like, it's really, 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 really true.
I don't think people understand, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I don't think people understand that. I think that's a common thought for tile installers to say, why did I choose this?
Yeah, sometimes you still say it now because days are hard, but at least now we know better.
Yeah.
And so what else I was going to say was that, like, once it finally clicked, and it didn't always, like, it wasn't just one pivotal point in time where we were like, oh, we have to do this. It was, a little step, a little bigger step of learning, and then putting what we've learned into play. Because, you don't just like learn everything in one take and then instantly you can switch the switch and everything's great. I still think that there's still more that we can learn. But once we took that mindset of, we got to work, we got to keep these jobs coming in, blah, blah, blah. And we put in the effort to charge more. We turned down clients that wouldn't pay us what we wanted. Like I said before, you have to be willing to go broke for your business. And that doesn't mean like, oh, don't pay your bills. It means you really need to go out there and find your market, find your client. That's not just like strap on a tool belt, throw your tools in the truck and say, I'm going to find somebody's backsplash to tile today. No,
Right.
Like, you really need to truly think about your business model. Who's your client? What do they look like? What kind of car do they drive? What's their job? All of that kind of stuff. That is who you're going to know. Like, we can walk into a client's home. We know when they're our customer.
Yeah.
It's not because they have a Rolex on their watch. It's just because the way that they talk to us, the way that they receive the information we're giving them, it's a fluid conversation. They're looking for us and they found us. And we just know as soon as we walk in the door that they're going to be our customer.
Pre-qualifying them before you even go out to the job so you don't waste your goddamn time.
And that took us forever to do. Because we're always like, oh, are we putting down a lead? But 90% of that time, those people wasted our time. Half a day, get in the car, get in the truck, get all your things together, go there, try to educate them, yada, yada, yada. You send out the estimate and you don't hear from them.
You don't even get a response.
You don't even get a response. Meanwhile, you spend 4 hours of your day because you go out to an estimate and it's hours.
Depending on where it is, how far you got to drive. Like,
Yeah. Texas, everything's 30 minutes away.
Absolutely. There is no not being on the interstate in Texas. Like,
So I'm sorry.
The original question.
Yeah.
but the pricing. What's your opinion on the pricing? I think I gathered your standpoint from what you said, but I just want to add to it. As much as we have responsibility as tile contractors to educate and prepare ourselves, position ourselves to be a profitable business, some of the responsibility falls on the consumer. And it's not a their fault or our fault type situation. It's just, it is what it is. The perspective from the consumer side is off. And I'm gonna put it out there to where people can hear it and also realize that I do think like this. There's already a bad connotation associated. I don't know if that was the right word or not, but it sounded like what I used to hear. So if I said it wrong, just laugh at me. But there's this bad vibe attached to the word contractor, period.
Mhm.
Other people not going to say it. I am going to say it. When people hear contractor, they hear bad experience, unreliable. 9 times out of 10, that's what they hear. They don't hear the word contractor. They don't hear profitable business. They hear the word unreliable. And what was the other one I said? It's not a good response. So even when we present ourselves, when we say I'm a tile contractor, oh, it don't have to be a tile contractor, period. When consumers hear the word contractor, the first thought in their mind, 9 times out of 10, is negative.
Mhm.
So it's our responsibility, even in that arena, to educate, to say, hey, you know what? I'm almost to the point to where I don't even want to use the word contractor.
Dude, but they've been pushing that. They've been pushing contractors down since the push for college education. Now
And I think the
contractors
reason,
are, the kids coming out of high school, even back in when I graduated high school in 2005, if you were dumb, a troublemaker, they tried to push you to the trade program. Oh yeah, this is a bad egg. Let him be a laborer. That's the way that society sees contractors now.
but
There's
see, and
no
you use a key term, because you said let them be a laborer. That's the beginning. I kind of understand that. I kind of understand and say, oh man, it's a bad apple. Let them go do something that requires no knowledge or skill. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about past that. We've surpassed the laborer level. So now you're talking about a different category.
It
But
doesn't matter.
when
People lump everybody into that one category.
you're right,
You're a contractor. You do manual labor. You're blue collar. You're below me. I have a college degree.
But see, and then we'll use history for example. We'll talk about history. There was a time in the United States when that group of people was held high because
Oh,
everybody
absolutely.
was
Yeah.
working with their hands. So it's kind of the supply and demand thing. When you realize that, hey, you know what? Nobody wants to work in this market, and if I do and all of y'all leave, you have to pay me more because there's less people available to do it. We don't people forgot that part. You got people that left the blue collar world and was just like, oh, I work in the office now, not realizing that what you're doing is you're positioning us to charge more money because nobody wants to do it now. It's the supply and demand thing again. So you have all these people that are watching, listening, or not in the blue collar that have to say, oh, you know what? It does make sense. If we all left and wanted to work in an office and there's a smaller group that's doing the hands-on, they get paid more now. Like it's nothing to think about. Like there's nothing to think about. They get paid more now because it's less of them because we all left. It's simple economics that people will be like, I don't understand. Yes, you do. Because you understand it in any other arena.
Yeah.
But when I come to terminology, my standpoint is let's call it a tile company. Let's just do away with contractor. Because again, we already know that consumers, we talking about psychology, the consumers have already started on a bad foot when we say the word contractor. But when they hear company, they expect different. When they hear a tile business, they expect different because when people hire businesses, they have a different expectations. When they hire a contractor, they expect somebody to show up in their truck that they can negotiate with. That even if that's the case, they disassociate a business with it. Like, although he's a contractor, does not take away that it is a business, a company. You're hiring a company. So my standpoint is, let's just don't say contractor. If we need to change the psychology, let's say, okay, hey, I'm a tile company. You're hiring a company, because psychology, the consumer would say, oh, that's different. I was looking for a contractor, but I got a tile company. Okay, I'm already knowing that costs more money. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a psychology to it, and it's not to trick anybody. It's just to say that, hey, y'all think a certain way about this word. It's not even about the industry. It's about the word. They hear contractors and they hear something bad is going to happen. They hear company and they say, hey, that's what I've been looking for.
I mean, that's something that everybody in the industry should be held accountable for. The stigma that surrounds the contractor. You know, you hear contractor, and most,
What's the visual that you
most
get?
middle class America who have college degrees, they're making 80,000 a year, 100,000 a year. They think some poorly dressed dude walking into their home smelling like Marlboro Lights and Coors Light. Tell me I'm wrong.
With
absolutely not.
on his armpits. Probably hasn't gotten a haircut in 6 weeks. Smells.
That's just what they think. I'm not saying that all contractors are like that. But that's the stigma that is carried with that word. And I've been in the construction industry. In high school, I worked in a cabinet shop from 14 to 17. Then I got my associate's degree. So I went to 2 years of college. I worked with my best friend's dad. He restored historic homes. He was a GC, and I worked with a lot of those guys, old white guys that smelled like Marlboro Lights and drank Coors Light. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel like most consumers associate contractors with.
Because whether or not we want to think about it this way, is every single person on this planet, I'm going to use the word, you're influencing somebody in some capacity. As soon as you walk out the door, when you go food shopping, the way you dress, the way you look, the interaction you have with the person at the counter, whatever, you influence that person to think some way about something, whether it's about you, whatever. So you could just imagine, as being a business owner, you're walking into somebody's safe space. They're immediately going to want to judge you based off of what they see.
And that's our own fault.
Yeah.
That's our own fault. Hold yourself to a higher standard than the rest of the world. And hopefully you can show people that, oh yeah, these aren't your typical contractors. Change the view a little bit, one person at a time. I don't know. I'm rambling now.
No, I like the idea of the company thing. I really do.
Yeah,
because and the reason I say that is because there are contractors that may not be visually the cleanest cut, but in every other areas they're A1. So you have contractors that may not look the part, but will knock it out the park. And you have people that will just disassociate every other aspect of business because of the category. Like, it's the construction. I expect you to let me down and mess something up. Regardless. Yeah. But again, and the reason why I say the whole psychology of using business or company in a place of contractor is, when we look at any other market, I'm gonna use this Apple Watch for example. We look at any other market. When a consumer seeks out a product or a service, if they encounter an individual versus a company, they always choose the company. You give them the option to interact or do service with an individual or a company, they're going to pick the company because they feel safer. You have more to absorb than just an individual. If something goes wrong, I don't trust that individual. You don't have enough. But if you're a company, in their minds, oh man, it's at least 100 people in here. You got a big building, you got a big office. So their approach to you is different.
Mhm.
They would say, oh, when I approach Shannon, although I'm talking to Shannon, I know she's a part owner of the company, there has to be like a board of 5 people. If she approached you as Shannon, the person that does everything, the contractor, the worker, they'll say, if something goes wrong, I'm screwed. I already don't trust you. But let's see what you got. Let me see what you got. So that's why I'm saying it's these kind of opportunities. Like y'all said, you're in the position to say, okay, well, hey, situation is you have a bad a view on contractors. Now we have the power to say, I'm gonna change that. But when I do change that and I show up and provide you the type of supply demand that you're looking for, now you can say, okay, the price is fair. But if they come into it looking at you as an organization that's already mistrusted, whatever number you tell them, it'll never be low enough. Like it'll never be low enough in their minds as far as value goes, because they're saying, I'm just hiring Chris. I didn't hire a company. I don't care what his logo says. I don't care what the brand says. I'm hiring Chris. He's the one that showed up. I can see his tattoos. He probably is not the best person. So if something goes wrong, I have nothing to fall back on. What's your price? How much? You want me to pay for that? You want me to pay that much for somebody that I don't trust? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm sorry. I such and such had an estimate and it was $300 and yours was way above that. That's the kind of stuff we start hearing. They don't verbalize what the real problem is. They just start saying what they need to say, or what they should be saying is, I do not value the type of service that you offer because I don't trust you. It has nothing to do with your price. It has nothing to do with your service. They don't trust you. The crazy part about this is they'll call you. Like they will call you and say, hey, come to my house. And then come inside my house. Then like walk around my house. Walk in my bedroom.
Allow you to take pictures of their bathroom.
Allow you all of this kind of stuff. Like come close to like my kids and my daughters and stuff. And when you give me a price, I'm gonna be like, oh wow. Yeah. You gotta be the serial killer that I expected you to be. Even though I let you in my house. You see what I'm saying? Like it's this kind of stuff. It sounds stupid. It sounds crazy. But I wanted people to start hearing the psychology behind this. Like,
Yeah.
I have a so getting back to just to pull us back in. Your question was about the pricing, and we were talking about how we want to try to educate, or consumers should be somewhat educating themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Which I agree with. However, devil's advocate question here. You go to the doctor, right? They tell you you need some surgery that you can't even pronounce.
Mm-hmm.
The average person is gonna believe, a reasonable person is gonna believe that they're gonna hire this surgeon and he's gonna do the job the way that it should be done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not going to sit here. Maybe if I'm a little curious, I'll jump on YouTube and watch the procedure on what, I got a torn meniscus in my knee and what they're going to be doing, and educate myself on how they're going to be doing it. But most reasonable people will say, well, this guy's a doctor. He did 8 years in 8 years plus 12 years in school.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I have to second guess his knowledge and what he's going to do? He's going to do it right. And I think that every contractor should be held to that standard. You're hiring us to do a job that you do not know how to do. And it is a moral and it's just the right thing to do. You do the job right. You don't cut corners. They're trusting you in their home to do it right. You shouldn't have to question the contractor why the barcode is showing on the goddamn tile on the bench. It's unacceptable, but that's just a devil's advocate. Should the homeowner have to educate themselves? Yes and no. They should be able to trust the person who's coming into their home to provide a quality installation. And it's those other people who are giving us a bad name that is the issue.
And that's the part. That's the part that I want people to understand. What you described is what you and I'm talking about think for yourself, is what you and I expect a company to do. That's what you described. You described the actions of a company in comparisons to the actions of a contractor. When we talk about contractors, like we said, 9 times out of 10, many of us, it's that unprofessional, and not in a sense of not knowing how to do your job, just being professional. It's that unprofessional guy that shows up. So that's what a contractor is in the world. So if we associate ourselves with a contractor, you are actively associating yourself with that unprofessional guy that shows up. Because again, the description that you gave was something that you and I think about. Use your home, for example. If you were to hire a company, what you described is the type of company that you would seek out. When we get into this category of contractors, that's when we get to the bottom. Like, that's when you start scraping the bottom. Not saying that there's not good people in it, but that's when you start scraping the bottom. Now, granted, because of our mindsets, yes, we think that every person that considers themselves a contractor should have these standards, but we know that's not the case. So because that's not the case, now we have this tricky area of saying, do I associate myself with them? Do I separate myself? Because if I associate myself and then expect the consumer to just see the difference, it's partially my fault. If I disassociate myself by being a brand, a company, a business, now I'm offering the same thing. I'm the same entity. I'm the same organization. But now it's presented in a way that the consumers say, oh, I want some of that. But a lot of times, and you guys have seen it, Shannon, you've seen it in the Facebook groups. You have contractors that are like, oh, you think you better than us or something? That's not what we do. Like, we're not trying to be that polished. That's not what construction is. We get our hands dirty and we look less than presentable. We make earnest money. We don't try to mess over people. Profit, what are you talking about? That's not what we do.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, as a company, like not as an individual, as a company, do I associate myself with this party? Do I associate myself with this party? Now, you're gonna have all kind of backlash. I'm pretty sure after this episode, it's gonna be people who be like, "Oh, what, you're not a contractor no more?" And be like, "No, sir, I'm not. I am a tile business. I am a tile company. Would you like to hire my services?" And presenting to a consumer. If a consumer was to respond and say, "Hey, I don't want a tile company," like you said, I already know you're not my customer. Great. I can refer a number of tile contractors to you because that's what you're looking for. Without being disrespectful, there are people out there that would say, you're right. I do want a tile contractor. And I'm going to live with whatever that person in front of Home Depot does to my backsplash.
I don't care if the barcode is showing on my tile.
I do not care. It's just tile.
$2 million home.
$2 million home. But then you realize that I'm not trying to sell to everybody. And you also realize that everybody does not deserve tile. That's when the history comes in. That's why other products were created. Because everybody doesn't deserve tile. You got tile that was in like royal palaces. And all of a sudden, everybody was just like, yeah, I deserve it too. It don't work like that. Like, that's not how marketing works. You can't go into a luxury store and say, hey, because I came in here and I want what you have to offer, I'm going to provide you with these $2 that I have and expect you to still give it to me.
Yeah.
They don't expect that in any other market.
No, you can't go to the grocery store and go in there knowing you got $10 in your pocket, fill up your cart, and when you get to the register, say, I know I have like $150 worth of product here, but I got $10. And I have some friends, they're coming in after. So
They're gonna buy some groceries too, so we're gonna take care of
And Walmart sells it for cheaper.
will
I
you
know
price
I
match
came to your
that?
store, but
Piggybacking on what you said, the problem is like, I believe our society now is like, you got this instant gratification thing. You can buy an iPhone, a brand new iPhone. I got a 3-year-old iPhone, right? It's all cracked in the back, right? You can go to the store and make monthly payments, but you get your brand new spanky iPhone.
Mhm.
So you got this society now where they want instant gratification. And when you come in there and you tell them your little spare bathroom remodel is going to cost $35,000, their jaw hits the fucking floor. Pardon my language.
Go for it.
So they're not used to being told, well, you got to pay me and you got to pay me now.
But see, and that's the part that I disagree with, because they are always told that you have to pay me now. In everything else, I'm glad you used the iPhone, because that's always my go-to. These iPhones are, we're gonna say $1,900.
The new iPhone 13 Max Pro, because I was just looking at it, $1,299 for the 256 gig and $199 up front for the 2-year Apple Care.
Plus, but you have to pay your taxes. You have to pay
Yeah,
your taxes.
so it's about $1,700 to $1,800.
$1,800, and there is no option. You don't have an option. There is no option. Either you pay this and you get it, or you make the decision to not have it.
Mhm.
It happens in every other market that these same consumers are in.
Yeah. In my
We'll
opinion,
use-
that's business 101.
It's easy. It's simple. There are for-profit businesses, and then there's non-profit businesses. If you know that my business is for profit, you have to know that every transaction is aiming at a profit, meaning I'm making more money than it costs me. That's what business is. But when you look at a contractor, you'll say, but that's not business. Like, you're a contractor. Like, that's not, we're not talking about business. You're a contractor. So that's why I say we have to be careful what category we allow ourselves to be in. Because you have consumers that'll say, no, I understand that in the business world, but you're a contractor. You can't do that. So when we come
And you
back
got to
and
work
say-
weekends.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but when we come back and say, oh no, I'm a company, like that business that you understand, yeah, I'm one of those. So that contractor that you was looking for, he probably still in the parking lot waiting for you to come pick him up. But then people gonna get mad. They feel like that's disrespectful. But they understand it in every other market.
Yeah.
So you can't tell us that, hey, I don't see why you making a profit. Yes, you do. You just bought the iPhone, didn't you? Which we know costs less than $100 to make, but you gladly paid $1,800 for it with this knowledge. But you come to me and say, man, why are you trying to make that much money off of me? Oh, okay. You don't want me to make 30%, but you're cool with Apple making $1,700. Like that's fine. You see what I'm saying? It's situations like this that the consumers have to hear this and say, oh, damn, they got us. They caught on to it. They know we're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's evident in every other place that we spend our money. We'll use your light bill, for example. We in the South, a hurricane happens. Those people don't ask you if you want a hurricane fee. They give it to you and tell you, if you don't pay this, now you get cut off. There's no option, and people pay it.
Mhm.
But you got tile contractors and companies, because that's what we're gonna start calling ourselves, that are saying, I'm scared because if I don't, who's gonna do business with me? All of those other people that were standing in the line that we saw from our video, that's who's gonna do business with you. The people that choose to get out of your line are gonna go get in somebody else's line.
Mhm.
But it's not like people are gonna stop coming to you because, again, the demand is for a quality tile company.
Correct.
I'm gonna keep saying it until you say it, Chris. I keep saying it.
What?
Tile company.
Company.
Tile company?
Company.
You know,
Mindset shift. That's all it is. That's all it is.
you know,
All it
I,
is.
I'm not afraid. You know, I don't feel ashamed when I say tile contractor. You know, if other guys say tile mechanic, tile setter, tile artisan. You know, whatever corny bullshit name you want to give to make yourself feel better about what you do. You know, that's on you. You know, I'm a tile contractor. I understand a lot. You know, the psychology behind saying, you know, we're a tile company. But then my bullet back to you is, well, tile company, do you sell tile or do you install it?
Both.
I'm not looking for a tile company. I'm looking for somebody to install the tile.
Both. We do both.
Tile installation company.
That's it. That's if you don't want to make profits on materials.
Yep.
So you got options. Because now we start looking at real business. That's how real business works. Like when we see these big corporations, they make those type of decisions that either, hey, I could be tile, materials and installation, or I could just do installation. But the ones that you see doing both, they're usually businesses. Like what we perceive to be businesses. Like, oh, you got a big building, all this kind of stuff. When they don't see that from us, they have a hard time understanding. Which is why this episode is going on, because we're gonna help them understand.
But I also, so like you're saying, and this falls into what you're saying, is that contractors, not just in our industry, but contractors do not know how to run a business.
This is very
It's
true.
not something, you know, it's not something that, especially in an area where there is no requirements to step into, you're just thinking, okay, I'm going to go sell this job, you know, I'm going to sell it for $3,000. But then you don't think about how when you're renovating somebody's home, what happens down the line. Like as soon as you open up the walls, something goes wrong. It takes you an extra day. That extra day costs you money. Then the 6 trips back and forth to the store that you didn't expect. And then before you know it, you end up like the sledgehammer dude and you don't make any money and your job is rushed and it looks bad. And now your reputation is ruined forever. All because you didn't understand how to run a profitable business and therefore you didn't charge enough. And then you also know you're losing money. So now you're rushing the job, cutting corners, all these things, like, you know, it's a snowball effect. And it ultimately ends up looking bad on who? The contractor.
The company.
The
There you
contractor.
go.
You know, but it comes
I guarantee you, everybody that heard that word company, it was a different mental response. Like, because I'm gonna say that for us, when we think about tile companies, we think about the bigger companies that have like capacity to have the teams and all that kind of stuff. When consumers are hiring us in comparison to those companies, they're still looking for the company. The reason they come to us is because that company has charged them a company price, because they have to. That's how they operate. And then you have consumers that say, oh, I want everything that you have to offer except the price. But the price is accurate.
Dude, all you gotta do is take a look at your local like Facebook group, like neighborhood Facebook groups. I'm looking for a quality handyman, an economical quality handyman that does good work. All the time. They want the champagne, they want the caviar, they want the cocaine for McDonald's pricing.
But see, and again, in that description, you already know as a business, a for-profit business, I would not waste my time to
Hell
respond.
no.
You're not looking for me, because I can tell that this company price that I have to charge to cover these insurances, those store runs, the liability, the workers' comp, everything that you're looking for in a company, the prices that I'm going to charge for them, you don't want to pay it. You don't want to pay it, which is why you specified quality handyman. Now there are LLCs out there that classify as a handyman, but we already know without me saying what they look like. All of them. Some may look more than others, but I can guarantee you it's probably a one truck operation. And for that one truck operation to continue to operate, 9 times out of 10, they'll have to charge more than the companies do. They got so much to cover. Like, they have so much to cover all of those years of not making money.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul, taking the
Yeah,
check from
just to cover, like you said, in the beginning of y'all's career, all of those years of not making money. That right now price needs to be through the roof. Like, I have to make up. I can't just make what I need for today. I got debt now.
Yeah.
For showing up to estimates of people that didn't want to hire me. Like, I'm in debt from burning through too much material on a job now.
Mhm.
I'm so deep in the hole. The price that I would need to charge you on the next project, you would never pay it. And then they look at you and be like, "Oh, you're wrong for that." Like, no, it's your fault because you didn't pay me the last time, or because I didn't charge you. It's both our fault. But I guarantee you, when they go to that company and that company says, like companies do, "Hey, here's my price. Either you can take it or you can get out of my line." They say, "Oh man, they out here doing real business. I was just looking for a contractor." You see what I'm saying? This is the
Wanna know
stuff
what
that they
else?
say.
Yeah, it's really funny. Is, for example, like, this is another thing. In this industry, we are expected to go out for free, do an estimate, and an estimate isn't just something that you plug in numbers and shoot it out, right? Like, well, us anyway, we go through everything we want to know.
Eventually we plug in the numbers and shoot it out, but
Yes, but
there's a lot of
we do take into consideration
job site conditions.
the prep, the conditions. Is it on the second floor? Where are we going to be able to set up our tools? How long? All of this kind of stuff that we consider into how many days it's going to take, blah, 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 blah. So that takes us a little bit of time when we get home from that estimate that we already spent time doing for free, right? So we just got windows installed, right? The guy came out, it was a free consult, but at the end of that consult, he handed me a piece of paper with a number on it. Oh, this is how much it's going to cost. Sign on the dotted line or you don't get the thing. That's it, you know? So he already knew that he was going to make a sale before he even left our house. He didn't go home, do any research. He didn't say, "Oh, well, you know, you're looking for this like fancy mosaic thing, so let me reach out to my friends. Let me see this or that." He didn't spend any more time. It was just like, this is the price, because he had everything figured out to the T with sizing and how much it's going to cost to deliver, to install, blah, blah, blah. Everything was figured out. Gave us a number before he left, and it was a yes or a no. So, but we're expected to go above and beyond. Like, clients have questions, we're supposed to leave there, follow back up, do all this, put all this front end time in, and never get compensated for it. That's why I would really like to see contractors or companies start charging for coming out and doing an estimate. Like, what's a new word we can use for estimate?
Consultation.
Consult.
That's what it is. All that stuff that you described, that's a consultation. Like that,
Yep.
The time that it requires for you to do your due diligence, that is a consultation. If you were to go to a business lawyer, you're going to pay for a consultation. And that is only for them to gather your information to see if you're going to move forward with it. They're not taking this to say, "Hey, we owe you something." They're just gathering your information to say, "Hey, all right, if you decide to move to the next step, which requires more money, I have what I need."
Mhm.
Everybody does it. Everybody does it. my accountant. I could talk to her on the phone for 30 minutes and it's understood. You're paying for this phone call. I don't care how
And
helpful it is to
we
you.
pay it.
You
We
paid for
gladly
it.
pay. Yeah.
But you have people that, like you said, expect, for whatever reason, it's foolish. They expect us to just be available to do whatever they have for us to do, as if we're not a company.
I got a quick story for you. We went out to I went out to an estimate probably 2 years ago to redo a older couple's master bath.
Oh, the Ortegas.
Mm-hmm.
They're great people.
Not-
we love them. You know. They're
Not
great.
related to me.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
He's positive. Right. I bid the it was the master bath, pretty much a full remodel, you know, lighting, cabinets, vanity, you know, flooring, tile shower. I was like 2 years in business. I quoted them like, I think it was like 16 grand, like 15,000, like really, really, really cheap.
Yeah.
I probably would have made, you know, the job probably would have took 2 to 3 weeks and I would have made $1,500. You know, after paying my subs, $500 a week, right? I could work at fucking McDonald's and make more money.
Absolutely.
Anyway, fast forward, he calls us back to come look at it. After COVID and all this other stuff, he put it on the back burner. We go over there and I pretty much tripled my price. And he couldn't understand why, number one, inflation. And two, I straight up told him, I said, you know, Mr. Ortega, I said, if I were to charge this price for you now, I would literally lose money
We'd have to pay
to do
install
your- to do
From
the
day
job.
one, like from
I
the
was-
time I started, I would start in the red.
Yeah, I was straight up. I said, if I were to have done your job at this price, I would have probably lost money. I said I was new in business. Between that and the cost of materials and labor and all this other stuff, I said that's why the price is almost triple now. I guarantee you, Mr. Ortega's bathroom still isn't done. Guarantee you.
Or if it's done horribly.
Oh,
If it's done, it's done at.
Well, they have
You know what?
bathroom.
I'm sorry. I'm going to destroy the word contractor. It's at a contractor's price. Or you know what? We're gonna take it out of our space and we're gonna put it on somebody else. Like they say in our industry, it's a builder's price. You know, that's the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's a builder's price. And that makes absolutely no sense. You know, you just the logic of it. You know how stupid that is? Oh, the
That is
builder's
really
price
dumb.
is cheaper, but they make the most money. But the contractor's price is supposed to be low because he's a contractor. Like it's stupid. I'm talking on this. This is why I'm doing this episode because I want y'all to hear how stupid this stuff is. All these listeners out here, you have to realize how stupid this stuff is. Like some of the logic that you guys will put out of your mouth towards a tile company and expect them to accept it. And you have to realize how stupid it is. Like, it does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. You can't make it make sense. You can't use any other product or service that you would spend your money on to make it make sense in the tile world.
Nope.
It just doesn't. Like it does not make sense. None whatsoever. That's why we're speeches right now, because it's like they have to understand at this point. But again, it's our responsibility to just say, hey, you know what? Let's take this back into our control. You wanted to hire a tile company. I would even use this in like consultations. Are you seeking a tile company? That's a genuine question. Are you seeking a tile company? Okay, break down what that looks like for me. Are you seeking a contractor? Oh, you don't understand what I mean? Meaning just an individual that installed tile. That what you're looking for? That's not what we do. But if it is, hey man, I can give you the list. I know plenty of people Not to say that they're bad, but all I have to do is just go down like Google. I'll send you to a number of tile contractors if that's what you're looking for. So that's where I say we have the control as contractors to say, I just need to understand where we're going with this. Are you looking for a tile company that comes in and sets up dust extraction, that does extensive prep, that does not rush for anybody, that makes sure that everything's done right, and that does not charge low prices? Because that's associated with all of this stuff that we offer. So if you don't want that, that's fine with me, but you got plenty of options, like plenty of options. Speaking of options, there are other options out there that people have decided it is okay to pay more money for. These are things that were created to be competitors to tile that the consumers have now said, oh, that's worth more than tile. These bath fitters, I don't mind saying the names, something that can be physically put on top of a bad install. A customer will say, yeah, that's worth $8,000. And if you give them the price, this is outrageous, $2,500 for a tub surround, they'll say, what? It's just a tub surround, but you were willing to pay $8,000 for plastic. And you expect me to come in here and tell you a price anywhere close, like lower than that? Now you would have people that would be like, nah, that's a lot for a tub surround. Clearly it's not, because there is a market that has shown that these prices are successful. So regardless if you think that it costs that much or not, it is shown this space for this type of installation, this type of function goes for $8,000. Why would tile installation be anywhere close to that? If anything, that would make my tile installation probably $21,000. You paying $8,000 for a tub surround, that means you should be paying $21,000 if I'm tiling.
Yeah.
So it's things like that that I need these consumers to hear and realize that, oh man, we are doing stuff that really does not make sense. There are vinyls out there that they're offering to our customers as an option. Everything can be made to look like tile. You got tile that's made to look like wood, a competitor to tile, and you expect to pay less for it. It's stupid. You see what I'm saying? I don't mind saying it like this anymore. That's stupid.
It is. It's
You
back.
cannot make that make sense to any tile company. Well, we wanted vinyl, but the prices on vinyl were kind of high, so we decided to go with tile instead and expect it to be cheaper. That's stupid. There's no other way of explaining it. That's stupid.
Yeah, we found this wood look tile for 70 cents a square foot, but the LVP is $2.50. So, you know, we're going to have you install it for $1.75 a square foot. So we're still cheaper than the LVP,
which was made as a cheaper alternative to tile. So it's conversation like this that, you know what? You shouldn't feel bad as a company to say, hey, we don't entertain these kind of calls. Because you'll have a group of contractors that say, oh man, that's bad business. You can't talk to customers like that. But in the world that we live in, the market that we will live in, a business can tell you that you can't walk in the store if you're not dressed a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Because that business has the power to tell you that. The business makes the rules. The consumer doesn't. It's as simple as that. So you can say as a company, oh, you know, we don't entertain that kind of talk. We're a certain type of brand. We provide a certain type of service. We realize that service is probably going to be for a certain category of people. We don't discriminate if you're not in that category because there are other options.
Mhm.
That's a respectable transactions. I'm not saying that you can't do business with me because I don't like you. You can't do business with me because your ideal contractor or company is in a different market. I can't sell you something that you're not trying to buy.
And the people who try to be people pleasers, because we were people pleasers at one point, where we would do anything for, getting paid. Those are the people who end up losing in the end. When you think that you're turning a lead down, but in reality, you're just dragging your business down. If it doesn't fit your brand, your model, anything that's not your client, you're better off staying home and playing baseball in your backyard with your kids.
Absolutely.
Or you're better off staying home and reading something that's going to better your business.
Yeah.
That time that you're going to spend at that job, you're going to waste your time. You're not going to make the money. It's really simple to tell somebody, hey, my tub surrounds start at X and they go up depending on your choices. If you want a niche, if you want a special blah, blah, blah. And that right there, that cuts people out so fast because a lot of people are just looking for price. So just put a minimum number on your tub surround. My tub surrounds start at 10 grand. Go up depending on your tile selection and, niche and yada, yada, yada. Oh, okay. Well, that's a lot. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. You know what I mean? Nice talking to you. Like, it's
Yeah.
really simple.
It's really not that much, but okay.
But there'll always be the contractor that does it for 2,500. We're not going to get rid of that person who they're about volume, right?
And see, that's what I say. We just got to create another category.
They're about volume, and that's fine. If you want to work 7 days a week so you can make your bills and put your kids in school, and you want to be broken physically by the time you're 45, that's great. Do you, man? But you can have those customers. They're not our customer.
Yeah, there's a market for it. Just like with the customers. If there's a contractor for you, for the contractors, there's a market for you. You don't have to try to charge my $8,000 prices. I'm gonna just try to. Somebody's gonna make $8,000 tubs around after this. You don't have to try to charge my $8,000 prices because you can't. You can't offer what people are looking for at this price range.
No.
But there is a market for you.
Mhm.
There's people that say, I don't care about it. Yeah, man, I know it's gonna mess up in 2 years. All I got is $2,400 to spend. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
There will be jobs for you. There will be people for you. Just like we watched in the video, your line will still be there.
Mhm.
You just can't expect to try to provide services in somebody else's line, which is the company line, the business line, the brand line that we are shooting for.
Mhm.
Some people, they have visions of being a big company. They just choose not to operate. Like they refuse to operate like that. But once you come across a company like you guys, they've made a conscious decision that I am going to run a profitable business. You operate different and you can't associate with certain people at that point anymore. Because when you do, you have actively made a decision to participate in tearing your business down.
Mhm. 100%.
And you take on that job that you know is not going to be profitable. You made a conscious decision that it's okay for me to take a little piece of my company.
Mhm.
Whatever happens after this happens, I just want to be a good contractor. If that's your goal, that is not a problem. Go for it. Just be happy with your results. Don't be mad at anybody else and say, oh man, you taking my shine away. No, sir, we are not. Your shine, I don't want to keep beating up on Home Depot, but I love this joke. Your shine is in Home Depot's parking lot. There is a party there for you, and it is amazing. I just choose not to come to it.
So, Anthony, what do you think we could do as an industry to improve our market value in the consumer's mind?
I think, one, raising our prices and refusing to accept anything less would help. In addition to all of us, like all of us tile companies, taking initiative to say, hey man, you know what? I have to participate in this social media movement of teaching the consumer. It can't just be a handful of people saying, oh man, look, I'm trying to educate you, because they look at it as, of course, Shannon, y'all know this. They look at it as, oh, you're a publicity seeker.
Mhm.
Now realizing that, no, I am a platform seeker to help a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah.
But
To
it
help
can't
this
just be
trade.
me. Yeah, it
Mhm.
can't just be me. But if everybody did it, the world would have no choice but to accept that, oh,
Correct.
I guess tile installation just went up. I'll use the example for wood prices. We all just experienced this. The prices skyrocketed, but the sales did not go down. They didn't say, oh man, I'm not buying that. They just said, oh, okay. Raise the prices on us, huh?
Same with gas.
How much gas? You pay it.
What are you gonna do? Walk?
So just that mindset. You'll have people that be like, well, I guess I can't have a tile bathroom. Exactly. If you don't want to pay for it, you can't have one, because there are tons of other options for you. But the kicker on that is they're not cheap. None of it is. Nothing is cheap. You can't get around that. Nothing is cheap. There are less expensive options, but you can't expect tile to be one of those.
No.
It won't happen. It shouldn't happen. The people that operate in the less expensive tile world, let them stay there. We
That
just
is
have to step out of it and say, okay, I'm just not gonna mingle in this area no more.
It won't
I'm just
last. Even if they do with that, go with that lower number or the lower contractor, it ain't gonna last. You know, they'll be calling another contractor in 3 or 4 years to come replace their shower.
It
They're
happens.
gonna be
at home.
calling us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They'll be calling us. They'll
Yeah, the
say,
other whole-
I've went through 5 tile contractors. I need a tile company. Can you please fix this? And you'll say, absolutely, because that's exactly what we do. Here's our prices. And they'll say,
And the-
gladly, I would love to pay this price. I don't want to deal with this no more. It comes full circle. That's why I say it sounds like you're down talking to another group, but it's just like, dude, if you want to play in the bottom, go play in the bottom. I'm just not gonna play with you. I'm sorry. If that's what you're looking for, go. Hey, look, if you want to play in the little leagues, play in the little leagues. I'm going to the big leagues. And when I get there,
Those are the first people. Those are the first people that say, "Damn, you're still on that job?" Yeah, because I can afford to be.
I can afford to be.
I can
What
take
am I
my
rushing
time.
for? Why
Do
am
it
I
right.
rushing? When I
What?
leave here, I'm going on a vacation and spend some time
Yep.
with my family. Is that a problem too?
Mhm.
They don't
You
expect
wanna-
it to be a problem. They live that kind of lifestyle. When it
Yeah.
comes to us, we just have to demand it. And that's why I say it'll take all of us.
Yeah.
Or it'll
You want to
help
work?
if it was
You
all
want
of
to
us.
work 200 jobs a year to make enough money for the year? That's on you. I'd rather work 10.
It's
Or
like
5.
the reason
Even if
for
it was
like
2.
my page and sharing what we do is so that all of that mentality dies with the generation that is currently crippling our industry. I want that mentality to die, just completely cease to exist eventually, because I know that the next generation, we will show up to the plate. I know it for a fact because
We're already showing up. Nobody
People-
else is fucking showing up. Pardon my language.
people say that, oh, well, you know, the younger generation, they
You're
don't
still
want to
stuck.
they don't want to work in the trade. No, it's because they don't know that it's a viable option, because all of you people run your business like crap. So nobody wants to emulate you because you haven't really made anything out of yourself.
You haven't
And-
shown any evidence that this is a company. Like
Correct.
that's why I keep using that term. You haven't shown any evidence that this is a actual business. I don't care if you got a logo and a LLC. You haven't shown the world any evidence that this is a business. They
Yeah.
see a truck that don't have any kind of decals on it. No offense to anybody that doesn't have decals, but they say, "Oh, you're not that invested." Because I just saw other company that was completely wrapped.
Yep.
It looks like a company. You look like a individual.
You know, what's funny is I just saw on Instagram just the other day, somebody posted once every few months they'll put together mock-ups for their apprentices to have them tile different things, and it's like a challenge, and you know they reward their apprentices and have them do these mock-ups in different parts of tile installation. You know, that's a company. Aaron, J&R Tile, you know, they're always doing you know, apprenticeship stuff and continuing education. That's a good example of a company.
Because that's what companies do.
You know, they do a good job of showing that, and I think that's something that we all need to aspire to in our own way. You know, do Shannon and I want to have 30 guys? Probably not. You know, but that's a personal decision. We have our own company. We run our company our own way. We have our own business model. You know, if it were up to me, this would be the shortest career ever for me. I want to be doing something else. You know,
Right.
I want to go up in the world. I don't want to stay stagnant. I don't know who does.
And I think that part of it is another part that people don't realize, that that's okay. You got so many contractors that say, "Why do you think like that, man? I love this. I love being on my knees. Yeah, my
Good for
back
you.
hurts, but this is
Enjoy it.
what I
You can
do."
work for me when I scale my company.
But when we think about people that own companies, we automatically say, "Oh yeah, man, I'm expecting you to be on the beach." That's what people with companies do. They don't work. Like you hold meetings. When you say the word contractor, you're like, he's on the job every day. There
Let me
is no
text him on
vacations.
Sunday afternoon.
There is no vacations. I know that you didn't fly out of the country because you're a contractor, not a business. This is why I keep using these terms, because you start thinking that people be like, "Oh yeah, if you're a business, yeah, a businessman. Of course, if Chris is a businessman, he goes on meetings. If he's a businessman, of course he goes to networking events.
Mhm.
If you're a contractor, dude, why are you not at work?"
Yeah.
They say, "Are you on the job?" They associate the contractor with the installer. They don't associate the contractor with the company, because that's what they see a lot. The individual show up and operate as best as he can, or he or she. But when they expect the company, they're like, "Man, it's a assumption. I don't know what's going on in the background. Although he showed up, I know that this operation is huge because it's a business. I'm expecting."
Yeah, we have a comment in the thing. Some of the biggest contractors have no lettering on anything. They have built a name for themselves in their communities. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. You know, we're not saying just because you don't have your truck wrap doesn't mean that you're not a good company, or you know, a large company, or whatever the case may be. I think it was just a more of a point Anthony was trying to make.
Example, yeah.
I mean, we're all trying to build. I ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say we're all trying to build a big company, but that's not true. Everybody doesn't want a big company. They don't want a big brand. They don't want something that's gonna be on the forefront for people to see when it either fails or succeeds. You got some people that don't want their company to grow just for that reason, to say, "Man, if it get too big and it don't go good, then everybody will know. So I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna keep it small." But you got some people that are like, "I want this to go as big as possible, but I also want it to go big as possible so I don't have to do this. So I'm afforded the time to go do something that I love, or to go spend time with my family." That's why people get into business, to grow things so they can go to the next level. They don't get in business. Like, people don't get into business to continue to work every day for money, because you could be an employee for that.
Mhm. Do
Easily.
not trade time for money.
You can easily go be someone's employee for that.
Well, that's what we're doing now.
If you wanted to work all day, every day for nothing. But people get in businesses and go through periods like that to get to the next level. But once you get to the next level, the world has to realize, hey, I'm at another level now. So at this next level, I have to charge you next level prices. I can't operate like I did in the beginning. But people will just try to hold you to, hey, everybody else does this, or that person does this, that contractor does this. I'm a company. I don't understand that logic. But hey, no offense. I'm aspiring to be a company. Even we'll just say that, even if you're at the contractor stage, let your customers know I'm aspiring to be a company, a tile company that can produce all of these type of things. So in the process, I have to charge these type of rates, because otherwise I'll never get there. And then 5 years down the line, when you want to hire me again, I'll be the same contractor. I don't shoot to improve. I'll be at the same level now that I am now, down 5 years down the line, because I couldn't grow. But as a company, if I'm aspiring to grow, I'm going to do things that are going to help me grow. And that's getting out of the contractor. I hate to say it. Actually, I don't hate to say it. I really don't.
Hate to say it.
No, it's the truth, though. It's the truth.
And that's why I chose y'all for this this conversation, because I knew that it comes with, y'all already have some slack. I know the kind of stuff you deal with, but I know, at least I think I know. I think I know where you're headed, and there's only a few ways to get there, and it's not by
Hey, man, we love haters. We welcome haters.
I don't like them. Me personally, I don't, because I'm a perfectionist, and I start considering what they say, and then I'll be like, wait, do I need to be better? Say? So I just don't. I don't like them. I just think to myself, I don't know why you're talking to me, because I'm a company and it's contracted.
I'm not even on your level.
It's contractor talk. I can't respond to you because I would have to come down to contractor.
That's really funny.
It's not a bougie thing. I really do not think of myself any better than people, but I'm focused on a trajectory that I do not have time for certain stuff.
Yeah.
Unless I make a decision that I don't want to grow today. Hey, I don't want to grow today, so
you're never going to change anybody's mind anyway. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, you're never going to change people's minds. It is what it is. But, you know, like I've always said, and I've always told you, that there's people who approach me all the time that, like, you know, they say, oh, like, I've always been too afraid to say such and such or do such and such, and yada, yada, yada. And like, you've inspired me to do X, you've inspired me to do this. And, you know, because of, you know, your strength and your confidence and all this other stuff. And it reminds me that there's people out there who they stay in the dark because they're afraid to step out of that. They're afraid of what other people might say. And my main thing, because it's a part of my brand of who I am, is that nothing anybody can ever say is going to change me. I am me, and so is everybody else. Like, there's nothing I could say that will change you, him, whoever, you know? And we all have to understand that being true to yourself through and through is the best way to be, because people are going to try to take you down every time you have a little bit of success, because people hate it. They hate to see you win. You know, they hate it, especially because they've looked up they've physically sat in front of a mirror and they've looked at themselves and they said, this is what I am. I'll never be that. I'm just a tile setter.
Oh, talk to them.
I'm just a tile setter. So that's all they'll ever be. That was their greatest accomplishment. You know, they didn't build a company. They didn't build a brand. They don't have, and nobody has any interest in what they do. They're just this.
Those are the people that are holding our industry back.
Yeah.
We're going to help them. We are helping them. We're getting there, y'all. We're getting there. Consumers and all. We're trying like, damn, I got to change my tagline, because it says bridging the gap between contractors and homeowners.
Mhm.
Gotta change the companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I think we've covered everything. I think the last question I was going to ask was, what's your opinions on homeowners' expectations? But I think we've actually covered that in our conversation.
Hmm.
So I want to take some time to take some notice to these shirts y'all are wearing. Says quality wins. What tell the people what that's all about.
So it's very simple. Quality over quantity. It's the basis of what we've really already talked about is have quality in everything you do, in your company, your personal life, just being quality. Like if you're setting out to do something, do it 150%. Make the sacrifice, do what you have to do. Otherwise, it's not worth doing it at all. In order to provide your clients with quality, you need to possess quality. How do you do that? How do you possess quality? Do we even know? By staying educated, doing, you can't run a business that's ever changing and, there's new things coming out every other day. Well, that's dramatic, but all the time without being up on your stuff, like you can't give quality if you're just focused on the check. You're focused on just trading your time for the money all the time. You never have that time to go to the networking events. You don't have the time to go to a training event because you're too busy worried about being in that cutthroat spot. You're worried about quantity, not quality. And, with quality, the money will come. You have to just keep on that path. And it's never going to be easy. It's baby steps, but like we've done it. Me and Christopher, we have done it. We've probably read every book, listened to every podcast we can listen to, done everything we can, put it into practice slowly. And some points we were like, man, what are we doing? Like, we're not going to take this lead, but it wasn't a quality lead. It didn't fit with our business model. It didn't fit with who we were. They weren't going to be right for us. So that's what it means. Just quality over quantity. Don't do it just to do it. Do it 100%.
Oh, look, I think that's it's crazy that y'all chose to wear these shirts because I feel like it simplifies and covers the entire episode. Everything that we talked about, it just sums it up. Quality wins. You can have any other portion of it, quality wins. You can do anything else you want to, but in the end, quality wins.
Yes.
So when we talk about the market and all that kind of stuff, you can't get around it. It's inevitable. Quality is going to win.
Even just being a person, be a good quality person. It's going to come back eventually. You keep being a good person, and it'll pay off. You'll start to meet other good people who want to see you succeed.
Absolutely.
Quality by association.
Yes. Association with companies. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I think this was an amazing episode. I feel like we got up to double digits in viewers, which was a first, I think, for a live recording. So clearly we kept them entertained. We've been talking for almost 2 hours now. So it has
I kept it pretty clean too, Anthony. I said, you know what, let me.
I wasn't gonna censor you. I tell anybody I
just-
wasn't gonna censor you, but you did a good job. You did a really good job. Do you want to just get anything out your system right now?
No, I'm good. Maybe that'll be for the next one. I'll start
For
to.
the next one. Look, I
You
know
know,
this was,
I need to show people that I could speak intelligently without cursing before I start cursing. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I have the
I got you.
vocabulary
I got
to.
You had to prime them. You had to
Yeah.
prime.
They're like, okay, this guy knows how to talk. He doesn't need to say fuck every other word.
Right.
But
Right.
now he's
It's
saying
not
it to make a
important.
point.
So now that I hear it, I can listen to the
Like,
message.
oh, this
and
is
not
important.
not the 7 F-bombs that was in the one sentence. I
Yeah,
got you.
We're originally from New Jersey, so cursing is like And plus, I've been, like I said, I've been in the trades for a long time, so you know how that goes.
Yes, I do. I think we
Pretty
covered.
raw.
I think we covered the topics well. I'm very appreciative for all of the comments. Two, you guys' participation and just the people that y'all are, the company that you represent, the brand that you push, the message that you continue to push, and the selflessness. This is the part that I wanted to speak on because you got a lot of people in our uh in our circle, within the tile circle. The listeners, they're not gonna know about this, but there's a lot of people that think that some of what they call tile celebrities are egotistical, or they're looking for attention, or they're doing it for likes, or they're doing it for money. The money part is probably true, but there's nothing wrong with it.
That's why we have businesses, right?
That's why we have
Companies.
businesses. That's the point. There's a for-profit business, then there's nonprofit. A lot of y'all not gonna do a nonprofit, so don't be mad when I do the for-profit. But I just like to highlight how selfless you guys have been. People might not notice. Me and Shannon, Chris, we talk outside of situations like this, and I've always been able to reach out and ask any question I want to. All right, through a text and say, "Hey, look, I need to hop on the line with you because I just want to soak up some of your knowledge." And it's never been returned with, "Oh, I don't have time. I'm too busy." It's always been open arms. So I wanted to highlight that part for those people that may have been influenced by some others to think otherwise, but that's not the case. So I just wanted to take this chance to clear the air. If you thought anything otherwise of these two people here, check yourself, because that's not how we operate. We out here trying to provide nice lives for ourselves and our families, and that's it.
Yeah.
Not out here trying to rub nobody's feathers. We're not trying to make you mad. It's not about you. We're living our lives, and we're trying to do the best we can. So I just wanted to shout out Chris and Shannon just for being the people that they are. I wanted to thank everybody that tuned into the show. I want to take this time to let you guys know that if you have not entered for the giveaway for a pair of these Apple Pro Max, then make sure you go to the Instagram page and do so. I'm not going to spend too much time on it.
What do we got to do? Because I want to enter.
There's a number of ways to enter, like
Okay.
a whole bunch
The
of ways.
link is in his bio.
Okay.
Yeah, the link
On
is
his
in my
Instagram,
bio
link in bio.
on my Instagram page, which is at Simply Intricate Designs. Yeah, it's an amazing pair of headphones. Do your research. I would go into it, but I've done it so many times that the retail value price was $549. Apple just lowered it down to $430. But you could enter for a chance to win just by liking the Facebook page. So if you haven't entered and you would like the chance to win some amazing headphones, go to the Instagram page at Simply Intricate Designs and enter with the link in the bio. Another shout out to all the sponsors, again, the National Tile Contractors Association and Go Board. Also, haven't had the opportunity to visit the website, floormastersmerch.com, where you can get amazing gear like this. Please do so. It helps me because, again, I am a newfound entrepreneur, and all of the funds that come into my account are very welcome. My daughters and my wife and my dogs appreciate it. So go to floormastersmerch.com. I'm not going to sell y'all too much more. Be on the lookout for more episodes like this so we can bridge the gap between companies and homeowners.
Wait, I have a question.
Oh, please.
A question. So is Simply Intricate Designs, like, are you going to change the name to like a tile, like Simply Intricate Designs?
Company.
A tile company.
If anything, I would change my classification from a flooring contractor to a tile contractor. The name, it has to say, because I don't want to be specific to tile, because the design portion allows me to sell designs.
Yeah.
Because that's really where I want to be. Like I like to go scan people's rooms. I like to produce a design and then go install it and say, oh man, that's pretty dope. So
Yeah.
the name kind of encapsulates that. I thought about doing something specific. I mean, and originally I left flooring out for that reason, because I didn't want to tie myself to flooring and then be like, oh, I'm flooring, but I also do. So I made a name that I could put anything under that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I will probably specialize in tile, but I'm not gonna change the name.
Okay, I like it.
Gotta be strategic,
Mm-hmm.
like a company. All right, y'all. I think that's gonna wrap up our show. We are just under 2 hours. That's crazy. I really be trying to get y'all in here and get y'all out, but this is the second one. I think the last episode was 2 hours. I'm sorry. I'm glad y'all stayed this long. I'm
Yes, thank you everybody for staying
Yeah,
and
thanks,
watching.
everybody,
We
for
very
appreciate it.
appreciative. It was a great conversation. If you do not know who these people are, please, y'all introduce yourselves again. Let them know how they can like you, how they can follow you, how they can do business with you, only if they're looking for a tile company, though. Go for it.
Oh, this is an outro.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to
Yes,
take.
yes.
Okay, so how you find us? You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at that tile chick.
TikTok,
Oh yeah, TikTok, at that tile chick.
LinkedIn.
My website, which I designed everything myself, thattilechick.com. Go check it out. Subscribe to my email list. And
We're gonna be dropping merch.
yeah.
Ooh.
Mhm.
I don't usually get to play with my buttons, y'all.
So yes, go check it out. Let me know what you think of my website. I spent a lot of time on it.
Yep.
Okay. That was a big project, and websites are hard. So you
imagine.
can find me at that tile chick anywhere. Chris is at Swoltega on
No,
Instagram.
don't follow me. You don't want to follow me.
You can follow him.
They have to.
You're here. You gotta.
Yeah, they have
Just
to.
follow,
You're
just
not.
follow that tile.
You
chick.
have to.
They
accept
just
it.
listen to a 2-hour conversation with you. They have to follow.
Yeah, but
You have to
I just
accept
want to, I just want to say to Anthony, thank you for having us. And I've been in the background now for a year and a half.
Mhm.
I kind of owe it to people why I've been in the background, and and I'm going to make it quick. Is I wanted Shannon to be out there and earn her way through her hard work, because that's what people recognize. And even though she was earning her way through her hard work and her dedication and consistency, she still got shit for it. And, but she triumphed anyway without me. And I think, I'm starting to be a little bit more active in this. I don't even know what you want to call it.
On social media.
On social, and I'm hoping that we can maybe bring in a new audience that can relate to the team that we built to create. And, hopefully people don't get angry with me because I could be a little opinionated and vocal.
Look, I'm gonna let you know right now that that's not gonna happen. Somebody's going to get angry with you. You should expect it, but it's gonna be up to you to how you respond.
Mm-hmm.
You can respond
lose
like a
any
tile
sleep.
contractor. You can respond like a company. I can't let it go. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Anyway,
No,
thank you,
but
Anthony.
really, you don't.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
that's a part of the journey. We are glad that you have come out of the bushes. It's good to
Oh,
see. It's good to see people behind the camera, because I know I, for myself, at one point was almost envious. Like, I know somebody behind that camera. I wish I had somebody to do a camera for me. Now it's good to know.
I also want to thank, everybody who supported her in the beginning. Their unconditional support, you being included. I appreciate that, because there are times I really had to, bite my tongue and just kind of let her deal with everything, on her own. I'm proud of her for that. And I'm proud of some of the friendships that she's made in the industry, and there are good people in the industry. And we joke and say, the industry needs to change. It's a good industry, but we could be better. And I'm not saying just any specific set of people. Everybody,
Right.
Everybody needs to be accountable for us, for each other, and and that's pretty much it. I'm done.
Appreciate it. Wow, I'm gonna highlight Chris again, because it takes a strong man. Like I feel like that could be easily overlooked. It takes a strong man to stand in the background of a woman, because you got so many dudes that's egotistical that it would have caused friction for them to stay in the background so long as their counterpart got so much attention. So I just wanted to shout you out, because I know as a man, hey, look at it. It took some manly efforts to do stuff like that, and do it for so long, and then come out and still be selfless about it, to be like, hey, you know what? I just wanted her to handle her business. Because you'll have some dudes that'll come out the woods and be like, I'm here. I was the reason for it all. She'll never been here without me.
Yeah. I could say I'm here, and the next time people want to be habitual line steppers,
I'm here.
There's something else here. You know what I mean?
I'm still here. I get it. I get it. So y'all, look, if y'all listening, you heard him. He's here. So, but we don't have those kind of issues. We don't invite that kind of energy as tall companies. So we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
I thought he was going to slip.
But I'm on it. I'm on top of it. Again, I'm not going to keep y'all any longer. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please make sure y'all check out the rest of the episodes. If you can hear anything in the background, my daughters are about to take a bath, so that's the noise that y'all are possibly hearing. So thank y'all again. Thank you for tuning into Floor Masters Podcast, and we are going to sign off.
Thank you, everybody.